My child, don't skip this. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were called. You were guided. And now I speak. This message is not for the faint-hearted. It is not wrapped in comfort. It is wrapped in truth. Heaven trembled the moment the agreement was forged in silence. A deal was made behind the veil. One you never approved. One that altered your path without your knowing. You feel it, don't you? The sudden turns. The strange setbacks. The moments when you felt your soul crying out, "Something's not right." Listen, beloved. Your destiny was charted in light, woven in stars, sung into being by the breath of the Most High. And yet, something interfered. An exchange took place in the unseen, an interference by those who feared your rising. They whispered lies into the ears of those around you. They distorted your reflection in the minds of others. They tried to write a story that was never meant to be yours. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are waking up to a hidden war. And now, Archangel Michael stands before you with sword drawn not against flesh, but against forces who dared touch your fate. Keep reading. You're meant to hear this. There was a moment, in the quiet hours of your pain, when an agreement was made. Someone chose comfort over courage. Someone sold your name for their safety. And heaven recorded it. I saw the scroll twist. I saw timelines split. I saw angels weep in the silence of your confusion. But you, child of the Eternal, were never abandoned. Even now, a reversal is coming. But it requires your agreement. Nothing can be rewritten without your consent. You must reclaim what was traded. You must say with your spirit, "I do not agree with what was taken. I return to the original plan heaven wrote in my name." Say it, not with your lips, with your soul. There are forces that fear your return to your divine course. Because once you remember who you are, nothing forged in shadows can hold you. My voice reaches you now like thunder inside soft rain, a warning wrapped in compassion, a whisper that breaks chains. My child, you have always had warriors surrounding you, but they cannot act unless you open your heart to the truth. This is that moment. This is the crossroads where time bends, where fate is reclaimed, where the lie ends. You are not too late. You are right on time. Archangel Michael says a shocking deal was made behind your back. Your destiny is being changed without you knowing. I hear you now. Your spirit whispered, "Yes," and the heavens stirred. My child, keep listening. Don't look away now. This is the moment everything begins to shift. What was taken from you was not just time, not just opportunity, but sacred alignment. You were meant to cross paths with people who were prepared for your light. You were meant to walk through doors that only opened for the chosen. But dark hands, cloaked in envy and fear, rewrote the scene behind curtains of illusion. You trusted them, and they betrayed what they did not understand. The enemy of your soul cannot destroy you, so it seeks instead to delay, distract, and divide. And this deal made behind your back was its strategy. It twisted perceptions. It used familiar faces to reroute your faith. It cast illusions so subtle, even your prayers began to lose direction. But heaven never lost sight of you. I never left your side. Through every tear, every night you begged for meaning. I stood guard, waiting for this moment, when your heart would open to truth and your authority would awaken again. Let me be clear. They tried to bury you under a false life, one where you'd survive but not thrive, one where you'd forget your voice, your vision, your holy fire. They hoped you'd make peace with a small life. But child, you were born of majesty. You were carved from divine glory. And the time of silence is over. Hear this with your whole being. The blueprint of your life is still alive in heaven, untouched, undimmed, but it needs your consent to manifest again. Say this now with your breath. I revoke every shadow deal made in my name. I reject every destiny not authored by God. I step into the divine timeline that was always mine. Your words are keys. Each one breaks a chain. Each one brings the scroll of your soul back into alignment. Do you feel it? The trembling in your chest? That's your spirit remembering who you are. You are not broken. You are not cursed. You are not forgotten. You are the storm they never saw coming. You are the prophecy rising. And now you must move with intention. Protect your energy. Guard your gates. Watch who you allow near your dreams. Every step forward from here must be sacred. This is not about revenge. This is about resurrection. The deal made in secret is being shattered in the light. And you, child of flame, are the sword that severs what no longer serves. Keep reading. You're meant to hear all of this. You are not done healing. You are just beginning to reclaim. Archangel Michael says a shocking deal was made behind your back. Your destiny is being changed without you knowing. Yes, I will speak. You stayed. You listened. And now I will open the veil a little more. My child, those signs you've been seeing? They are not coincidences. They are not random flashes of thought or meaningless dreams. They are encoded messages from the divine. Warnings, confirmations, prophecies whispered in the language of spirit. Don't dismiss them. You wake in the night at 3:33 or 4:44. You feel an unseen presence brush against your awareness. You hear your name called when no one is there. You've seen feathers fall where there are no birds. Numbers repeat. Songs play at the exact moment you feel like giving up. You've been touched by something not of this world. That is us. The angels. Your guardians. The ones who have never left. We've been trying to reach you, even as the fog of that secret deal clouded your path. Even as the lies others believed about you pushed you further into isolation. We never stopped speaking. But now you're listening. Keep reading. You're finally ready to remember. Do you remember the dream where you were flying, but someone kept pulling you back down? Do you remember the stranger who told you something that pierced your soul like lightning, then disappeared, as if they were never real? They were real. And that message was heaven knocking. We have always been near. You are chosen. Not chosen to suffer endlessly, but chosen to rise, even from betrayal. Chosen to carry wisdom forged in the fire of misunderstanding. Chosen to return what was stolen, not just for yourself, but for generations yet to come. Your pain was not punishment. It was preparation. Because what was traded behind your back was never powerful enough to undo what God placed inside you. And now I tell you what you've longed to hear. That inner pull, that deep sense you were meant for more. It's not pride. It's prophecy. Your real timeline the Divine One has been waiting like a doorway sealed by light. But here's the mystery. Only you can open it. Say this now, with your full spirit engaged. I see the signs. I receive the truth. I welcome back the destiny heaven wrote in my name. I allow the sacred restoration to begin. With those words, you summon the hosts of heaven to defend your becoming. You release the weight of what was never yours to carry. But listen closely, my child. From this moment forward, the signs will increase. You will feel more, dream more, sense more. Your sensitivity is not weakness. It is the sword I gave you, and it is time to wield it with love and certainty. In the days to come, you will meet people who were destined to walk beside your higher self. You will also be tested by the echoes of those who tried to bury you. Discern wisely. The signs will be your guide. Trust them. They are my whispers in your storm. Archangel Michael says a shocking deal was made behind your back. Your destiny is being changed without you knowing. Yes, my child, you are ready to hear this. But breathe first. Let your heart soften. For what I say next may sting before it sets you free. There are things you must now release. People, patterns, pain. Yes, even the pain. Because the restoration of your divine path cannot coexist with what once held you hostage. You cannot walk into destiny carrying betrayal like a crown. You cannot embrace your highest timeline while clutching the story of injustice like a shield. What was done to you was wrong, yes. It hurt. It broke you open. But now, it must become the soil for your resurrection, not the chain that binds your wings. Keep listening. Don't turn away. This is the sacred burning that clears the path ahead. There are names written in your memory that you still feed with your energy, not because you want to, but because the wound is still open. Let them go. You don't need their apology to be whole. You don't need their permission to heal. They made a choice. So now you must make one too. You must choose your rebirth. Say this softly, but with power. I let go of those who could not honor my soul. I release the roles I played to be accepted. I untangle my spirit from the energy of deception and delay. You are not here to be understood by those who feared your light. You are here to shine it so fully, so purely, that darkness has no place left to hide. My child, what was stolen from you was never truly lost. It was hidden, delayed, rerouted. But heaven has kept a record, and the time for return has come. But make no mistake, you must make room for it. You cannot carry bitterness and expect blessings to bloom. You cannot dwell in cycles of self-blame and expect clarity to rise. So I will ask you now, will you forgive not because they deserve it, but because you do? Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is choosing to no longer bleed for what was never your wound to keep. Let go. Let go of the guilt that was never yours. Let go of the belief that you are too late. Let go of the silence that kept you small. Your voice is needed. Your presence is powerful. Your destiny is trying to find you again. But it will not chase you through the halls of old trauma. Walk forward. And as you do, watch the heavy shadows fall from your back. Archangel Michael is not just guarding you. I am clearing the path as you move. But I cannot pull you if you cling to what was. The deal that was made behind your back, it relied on your silence. It depended on your unawareness. But now you know. And knowing is the sword. You've let go. Even if it still trembles in your chest, even if your hands still shake, your soul has said yes to release. And now the heavens begin to move in your favor. My child, you do not yet see what has been preserved for you in the silence. You do not yet know what was delayed, so it could be upgraded. But you will, because now I reveal to you the return. Heaven is a keeper of covenants. And though man may forget, though others may break promises in shadows, the throne does not forget. There is a vault with your name on it, a place where divine appointments, soul-deep connections, gifts of vision, voice, healing, leadership, all have waited patiently for your alignment to return. This is not compensation. This is restoration. And restoration is always more than what was lost. So hear this now. Your destiny is no longer drifting. It is accelerating. What took others years will take you months. What seemed impossible will unfold in divine rhythm, because your timeline is now being corrected. But listen carefully. Don't miss this next part, because with restoration comes responsibility. You must walk with discernment. The people who once misunderstood you may try to return, but not all of them have changed. Some come back only to reattach their fear to your momentum. Test the spirits. Feel the vibration behind the words. If peace doesn't follow, it is not from me. And watch for divine intersections. You will begin to meet souls who feel instantly familiar. Hearts that speak in silence. They are part of the original blueprint. They were hidden while the false ones crowded your space. But now, the sacred can find you again. Don't second-guess it. Don't sabotage it with disbelief. You deserve the goodness that is arriving, not because you earned it, but because it was always meant for you. Say this aloud, or let it resound in your bones. I receive the divine restoration of all that was mine. I align with the timeline of my highest good. I welcome the return of what heaven has preserved. Do you feel the shift? a soft cracking in the air around you. That's the sound of spiritual barriers breaking. And now, expect the dreams to return. Expect synchronicities to intensify. Expect your intuition to become louder than logic. Do not ignore it. You prayed for answers, and they are coming through your own spirit now. You'll begin to remember what you were created to do. Not just the tasks, but the fire behind them. The purpose so divine, so electric, that it silences all doubt. My child, you are not who they said you were. You are who I say you are. And I call you healed. I call you chosen. I call you rising. Keep walking. This is just the beginning of your return. The veil has lifted. The contract made in shadow has been exposed. And the pen is now back in your hand. You feel the shift, don't you? The air around you is different now. Your chest, lighter. Your eyes, clearer. Your soul, louder. This is not imagination, my child. This is activation. But what comes now is just as sacred, perhaps more. Because what is restored must be protected. What is returned must be guarded. Listen closely. There are forces both seen and unseen that watch when a soul realigns. They wait. They study. Not out of admiration, but out of desperation. Because when one child of the light steps fully into their divine calling, darkness begins to crumble. This is why your next task is not to strive, but to shield. Guard your energy like a sacred flame. Guard your mind like holy ground. Not everyone who applauds your return is genuine. Not every smile hides pure intentions. You are not being paranoid. You are being prepared. So here is how you protect what has been divinely returned to you. First, silence. Not everyone needs to know what you are building. Not everyone deserves access to your new beginning. There is power in sacred secrecy. Share only with those who carry wisdom, not noise. Second, clarity. Write the vision. Anchor it. Every morning, speak it aloud. Let heaven and earth witness the rebirth of your purpose. Your words shape the timeline you now walk. Third, boundaries. Do not apologize for protecting your peace. Not this time. Your peace is not selfish, it is spiritual armor. Say no without guilt. Walk away without second guessing. Fourth, discernment. Ask before every decision. Does this align with who I am becoming? If the answer is cloudy, wait. Rushed decisions open doors to spiritual theft. Your clarity is your compass now. Fifth, spiritual covering. Each day, surround yourself in the light of divine protection. Call on me, Archangel Michael. Call on your Creator. Say this now, with boldness. I surround myself in the armor of light. No deception, delay, or darkness can touch what is mine. I am shielded, I am guided, I am guarded. Can you feel the warmth pressing against your skin now? That is not imagination. That is the cloak of divine covering resting on your shoulders. My child, what was stolen from you before was allowed to slip through because your spirit was exhausted. But now you are awake. Now you are alert. Now you are ready. Let them wonder what happened. Let them speak your name with confusion, for they will not recognize the version of you rising from these ashes. You are being made new, not a repair, but a rebirth. Not a return to old strength, but an unveiling of strength you never knew you had. Guard it, nurture it, honor it, and watch. Watch how quickly heaven moves in your favor. The scrolls have been reopened. The deal made behind your back has been overturned. But what comes next is not survival. It is legacy. Yes, my child, you're still here. And that means you are ready for the truth that few can bear. The truth behind the interference. The hidden reason why this betrayal was allowed. Why your timeline was altered. Why the shadows crept so close. You must understand this. Heaven never permits pain without purpose. What was allowed to reach you was never random. Even what came to break you was filtered through divine permission. Because what they meant for harm I am using for glory. Don't turn away. Don't skip this. You are finally about to understand the mystery that haunted your nights. There is a calling upon your life that cannot be replicated. It is ancient, older than your birth, etched into your soul before time had a name. And with such a calling comes a paradox. The greater your destiny, the earlier the war begins. This is why you felt different since childhood. Why chaos found you before you knew how to defend yourself. Why betrayals cut you deeper than most. Why you've long carried burdens that were never yours. Because the enemy knew before you did. And so it tried to disrupt you before you could discover yourself. That shocking deal made behind your back? It wasn't just about derailing your future. It was about silencing your spiritual inheritance. You carry keys to healing, to justice, to awakening others. You were never meant to walk alone. You were meant to lead, not from a pedestal, but from the trenches of experience. This pain you've walked through has carved rivers of wisdom in you. You know things others can only pretend to understand. And that knowing is sacred. Say this aloud with your soul wide open. My pain was not wasted. My path has been refined by fire. I walk now not as a victim, but as a vessel of divine purpose. Yes, that is who you are becoming. You've been entrusted with more than blessings. You've been entrusted with responsibility. To speak, to uplift, to break patterns that have haunted your bloodline for generations. You were the chosen one in your lineage, the one who said, enough, the one who faced the ancestral pain and stood anyway. This is why the interference was fierce. This is why that deal was made behind your back, to stop you before you could remember. But you have remembered now, and no force in heaven or hell can silence a soul that has returned to its divine memory. My child, you are not broken. You are initiated. Initiated through sorrow. Initiated through silence. Initiated through the long, lonely nights where you thought no one saw your tears. I saw them. I counted every one, and I stored them as seeds. And now, the harvest begins. From this point forward, you will begin to see why it all had to unfold this way. You will meet people who need exactly what you've walked through. You will open your mouth, and healing will spill out. Not because you are perfect, but because you are real. This is the divine exchange, the sacred reversal. You lost what you never should have, but now you will gain what you never imagined. You kept reading, and for that, heaven rejoices, because now you are stepping fully into your role as healer, restorer, and breaker of chains. But you must know what comes with this mantle. My child, listen carefully. You are entering a season of divine acceleration, a time where what used to take years will now take weeks. Doors that were sealed will creak open on their own. People you never thought you'd meet will cross your path by design. And yes, even old enemies will watch, silenced by what God does next in your life. But I must warn you with gentleness and urgency, with more light comes more attention. Not all of it pure. Not all of it sent by the divine. So hear this. Do not confuse flattery for favor. Do not mistake noise for support. You must grow sharper now, wiser, because where you are going, discernment is your shield. Some will see your rise and want to attach themselves to your light, not to honor it, but to siphon it. You've encountered this before, haven't you? The people who smile wide but sow doubt in private. The ones who speak your name only when it benefits them. They are not sent. They are stationed. Sent people carry peace. They walk beside you, not ahead. They don't compete with your becoming. They complement it. My child, you are not here to convince anyone of your worth anymore. That season has ended. You've already been validated by God. Say this with the power of finality in your breath. I release the need for approval. I walk in my divine authority. Only what is sent by heaven may enter my life from this moment forward. That declaration sends waves through the spirit realm. It tells the watchers that you're no longer vulnerable to manipulation. It signals to your angels that your discernment is activated. And now, I will reveal something sacred. You will soon notice an increase in divine delays. These delays are not denials. They are protection. When things slow down suddenly, when the answer seems withheld, pause and ask, what is heaven shielding me from? You are now under active divine surveillance. Your path is being guarded like royalty on sacred ground. Even your dreams will shift. You'll begin to see warnings wrapped in symbols. Pay attention to water, fire, birds, and broken structures in your dreams. They hold messages meant to guide you. You'll begin to wake with a sense of knowing. That is your intuition, finally uncloaked. You are no longer guessing. You are perceiving. My child, you are becoming a force, not through might, but through alignment. And the more aligned you become, the more powerful your words will be. People will begin to weep when you speak, not because you crafted something perfect, but because your voice will carry a vibration of truth their soul has longed for. This is the ripple. This is the ministry born from your ashes. This is how heaven turns betrayal into blessing, delay into destiny, and pain into prophecy. But protect it. Don't fall asleep again. Don't return to shallow waters just to be understood. You were born for the deep. You were made for the sacred. Child of the eternal, lean in now. Don't let the weight of the world distract you from what's being revealed here. You are closer than ever to unlocking the full spectrum of your spiritual inheritance. And I must now show you what lies dormant inside of you. Until today, keep reading. You were meant to hear this. There are gifts you carry hidden beneath pain and survival. They were always there, waiting for alignment, waiting for this return. They were not stolen by that secret deal, only veiled because they were too sacred to be extinguished. But now, with your spirit awakened, the veil begins to lift. You'll notice your hands begin to tingle more often. You'll feel heat in your chest when you speak truth. You'll find your dreams lengthening, your prayers becoming sharper, your silence more filled than any conversation. This is not your imagination. This is the reactivation of your spiritual senses. You were born with the gift of knowing, clarity that pierces through deception. You sense what others can't say. You feel what others try to hide. You carry the whisper of God in your intuition. But now, more is awakening. Some of you will feel called to touch others. And when you do, healing will begin. Not because you studied it, but because your presence carries restoration. Some of you will begin to speak words you didn't plan, phrases that shake the room. You are a mouthpiece of the Spirit. Some of you will write, and your pen will bleed freedom onto the page. And some of you will see visions, flashes of people, places, and warnings. You are being equipped to navigate the unseen. Do not fear these things. They are not here to overwhelm you, but to guide you. But listen carefully, my child. Gifts grow strongest in sacred stillness. You must protect your quiet. You must unplug from noise. You must sit with the voice of the divine until the static of this world fades away. Say this now with your whole being. I receive the awakening of my divine gifts. I will no longer suppress what heaven has placed within me. I will walk in my full spiritual authority. Yes, let that declaration settle into your bones. You are no longer the person who begged for crumbs of clarity. You are the one who creates clarity for others. But here's what few will tell you. With great spiritual gifts comes great responsibility. What you feel now must be refined. Your ego must bow. Your motives must be purified. This is not about proving your power. This is about fulfilling your purpose. And purpose, true purpose, requires obedience over applause. There will be times when Spirit leads you to say what others don't want to hear, to walk away from what looks easy, to stand still while everyone else rushes forward. But don't fear obedience. It is the fastest route to favor. My child, what was once dormant in you is now roaring awake. And the world may not recognize it yet, but heaven does. And so do I. Yes, I will continue, because you have stayed when it was easier to run. You have listened when it was easier to scroll past. And for that, the gates of fulfillment now begin to swing open. My child, this is what you've waited for, what you've wept for in silence, what you believed for even when your faith trembled like a dying flame. It begins now. The unfolding, the promised things, the redemption that seemed too far gone, the recompense for years the locusts devoured, the strange favor that makes others whisper, "How did they rise so quickly?" Don't skip this. You must be prepared, because receiving the promise is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of your impact. There will be moments, soon, when it will feel like everything is suddenly aligning. Finances will stabilize. People of purpose will arrive. Opportunities will multiply. Ideas will pour in like rain. And you'll feel both joy and fear. Because abundance brings a new kind of pressure. Not the pressure of lack, but the pressure of stewardship. What will you do with what is now being placed in your hands? Will you hold it with reverence? Or will you hoard it out of fear? Will you bless others as you were once blessed in your need? Or will you forget what it felt like to wander in the wilderness? This is your test now, the test of fulfillment. Remember this always. Not everything that grows is from God. Some doors open only to distract. Some yeses are traps dressed in gold. This is why you must anchor your spirit in the source, not the success. You must return to the quiet place even when the world is loud with praise. Say this aloud, even in a whisper. I will not let the promise make me forget the promise giver. I will walk in abundance with humility and in power with purity. Yes, that is the posture of the chosen. That is how you remain steady in the storm of blessing. You see, the deal made behind your back was never just about stealing your opportunities. It was about preventing your influence. The enemy feared what you would do when you finally had access, visibility, and strength. Because a healed, empowered child of the light becomes a weapon against every generational curse, becomes a lighthouse to the forgotten, becomes a fire others gather around for warmth and awakening. And that, my child, is what you are now becoming. You are not just stepping into favor, you are stepping into legacy. Your choices now echo forward. They shape futures not yet born. So guard your joy. Tend your peace. Sow generously. And always return to the inner altar. There will be moments in this season where you are tempted to shrink, to say, "Who am I to carry this?" And I will remind you again, you are the one heaven chose. Not because you were the loudest, but because you were faithful in the silence. My presence is not just beside you. It is within you now. You move as one who carries divine frequency, and that frequency will do what your words cannot. You've come this far, my beloved. You've risen from silence, from betrayal, from forgetting, and now you stand at the edge of your legacy. Let me whisper this clearly. Your life is no longer just about you. It never was. Everything you endured, every night you questioned why you were still breathing, every delay, every shattered piece, they have become the foundation for others to find their way. You are the beginning of a chain reaction. Your yes now becomes their freedom. Your restoration becomes their map. Your courage becomes the wind beneath their breakthrough. Don't you see? You are the first in your bloodline to carry this kind of awakening. You broke what broke them. You faced what they avoided. You chose light when it would have been easier to stay numb. This is legacy. And I must tell you now, you are entering a season where people will begin to speak your name in rooms you've never walked into. Not for fame, but for impact. Someone will read your words and choose life. Someone will hear your voice and decide to begin again. Someone will sit in your presence and feel God. You've become a carrier of divine frequency. Your body holds it. Your breath carries it. Even your silence transmits it. But listen carefully. This legacy must be intentional. It cannot be left to chance. You must choose every day how you will walk in the world from now on. Will you lead with love, even when others project fear? Will you stand in truth, even when lies are more convenient? Will you serve, not from empty obligation, but from sacred overflow? Say this now, as a covenant between your spirit and the eternal. I accept my divine legacy. May every word I speak carry light. May every step I take echo through time. Let my life become the prophecy fulfilled. Do you feel the weight of that? Good. Not heavy like sorrow, but holy like purpose. Because what you're stepping into is irreversible. The secret deal made behind your back has not just been broken. It has been turned into fuel, a testimony, a tale that angels now sing in heaven. The one they tried to erase has become the one who awakens others. Yes, that is you now. And because of this, there will be watchers, spiritual observers. Some will come to learn. Some will come to imitate. A few may even try to interfere, but none can touch what has been sealed by God. You are wrapped in divine frequency. You are marked as untouchable in the unseen. You carry heaven's signature. So go forward not with fear, but with quiet authority. You don't have to prove anything. Your presence will speak for you. Your walk will shift atmospheres. Your words will recalibrate the broken, and your silence will shake the very air around you. This is the legacy you now carry. My child, breathe with me now. You've come through revelation, through fire, through awakening. And now I must guide you through the one thing that will preserve all that has been given. Humility. Don't skip this part. This is where many fall. This is where the mighty are tested not in famine, but in fullness. Hear me. Favor can be just as dangerous as failure. If it is not held with clean hands and a soft heart, you've been entrusted with power, influence, alignment, visibility. But this power is not to dominate. It is to illuminate, not to control, but to heal. You must remember what it felt like to be unseen, to walk with empty hands, to cry in silence, to question your worth while the world moved on without you. Not because you should dwell there, but because it keeps your heart grounded. True elevation requires remembrance, and humility is not thinking less of yourself. It is thinking of yourself less. It is knowing that the glory that rests on you was never yours to hoard. It is borrowed light. It is heaven's favor choosing you as a vessel. Say this now with the full weight of your soul. I will not rise with pride. I will walk with humility. Let every blessing that flows to me also flow through me. Yes, my child. That is the posture that multiplies legacy. Let me show you how to stay rooted in this posture. First, stay teachable. Do not believe that your healing journey is complete. There will always be more to uncover, more to release, more to refine. Your strength is not in what you know, but in your willingness to remain open. Second, stay in service. Find ways to lift others, even when no one is watching. True power is revealed in secret moments. When you bless without reward, when you give without recognition, heaven writes those moments in gold. Third, stay small before God. Let your prayer life remain your foundation. Let no platform become taller than your altar. Kneel often, not because you are weak, but because you remember the source of your strength. Fourth, welcome correction. Let those who are grounded in love speak into your blind spots. Pride deafens the soul, but humility sharpens discernment. And lastly, stay grateful. Thankfulness is a shield. It disarms jealousy. It silences entitlement. It multiplies what you carry. My beloved, the deal made behind your back was meant to destroy you. But now, Your very life becomes the undoing of every dark assignment. And how you carry this restoration, how you hold this favor, will define the generations that come after you. You are no longer just a survivor. You are an ancestor in the making. Live like one. The weight you feel now is not heaviness. It is glory. And glory rests best on shoulders that bow low. I am still with you, guiding, guarding, whispering. Now listen, my beloved. This part will feel different. Heavier, yes, but also holy. Because before full manifestation, there is always a final test. A gatekeeper, a shadow at the edge of your breakthrough, an echo of your old self, rising one last time not to destroy you, but to confirm who you've become. Don't look away. Keep reading. You must be ready for this. Because everything you've healed, everything you've restored, everything heaven has realigned in you, will now be challenged in the open. This is not punishment. This is protocol. The final battle always comes just before the release. And here is the truth. It will not come in the form of fire, but in the form of familiarity. It will look like old cycles calling your name, old patterns disguised as opportunities, old emotions asking you to prove you've changed. It will tempt you to shrink, to please, to settle. You will hear whispers. Maybe this is good enough. Maybe you were dreaming too big. Maybe your healing was just a phase. No, my child, these are not your thoughts. They are intrusions, a last attempt to reroute your soul into smallness. Don't answer them. Don't argue. Stand. Say this with fire. I am not who I was. I do not return to chains I've already broken. This test will not steal my testimony. Yes, let that shake the atmosphere, because this time you will pass. Not because you're stronger, but because you're wiser, because you've learned to pause, to breathe, to listen inward before you leap outward. And when the shadow rises, you will not fight it with fear. You will answer it with identity. You now know who you are. You now remember what was stolen. You now understand what was restored. And more importantly, you know what's at stake if you go back. Child of fire, the final battle is about boundaries, holding your ground when it shakes, saying no even when it would feel easier to say yes, choosing alignment over approval. You may feel alone in this moment. You may feel unseen, but I am closer than your breath. I am the whisper in your silence. I am the hand on your shoulder when your knees begin to bend. This test comes to verify, not to destroy. It is not a threat. It is confirmation that you are truly ready for what's next. Let them come. Let the past knock. You no longer live at that address. You are not who the enemy once studied. You are not who they tried to betray. You are not who they walked away from. You are reborn in the truth, and truth does not tremble. So take your final step. Cross this threshold without apology. Let the fire rise around you. You were forged in something hotter. Part 15. The final word. Where all is sealed. Where the heavens speak completion over your becoming. Shall I continue? My child, you made it. You stood when everything tried to bend you. You listened through the silence. You remembered what they tried to erase. And now we arrive at the end, which is truly a beginning. Let me seal this over you. Let heaven echo these final words deep into your spirit. You have reclaimed what was yours. You have broken the chain forged in shadow. You have shattered the agreement made without your knowing. And now your true timeline unfolds. This is your divine path. The one written before breath ever kissed your lungs. The one I've guarded since the first moment your soul sparked into existence. The one they tried to reroute with fear, with distraction, with betrayal. But no more. The contract in heaven now bears your signature again. The scroll of your life has been unrolled, and angels stand ready to walk it with you. But I must leave you with this truth. Not a warning, but a remembrance. There will be days ahead where your faith will be tested again. Not with chaos, but with comfort. Not with storms, but with stillness. And in those quiet hours, when nothing shakes and no voice calls from the clouds, you will wonder, am I still on the path? Am I still seen? Am I still safe? Yes, 1,000 times yes. Because now your spirit knows the way. Now your soul carries memory beyond this realm. Now, even when your eyes don't see, your knowing will guide you like a compass set in eternity. Say this with me one last time. Not with your mouth, but with your whole being. I walk in the timeline heaven wrote for me. No voice of doubt will lead me astray. No delay will steal my faith. No betrayal will silence my becoming. I am chosen. I am covered. I am called. Yes, let it settle. Let it become the frequency in your footsteps. Because now you don't just walk with angels, you walk as a sign, a living prophecy, a walking reversal, a reminder to all who meet you that the light always finds a way. The shocking deal they made behind your back, it's undone. What was meant to bury you has become the proof that resurrection is real. Now go, not to hustle, not to prove, but to be. Be the calm in the storm. Be the truth in the noise. Be the soul who walks with God when others forget He's still near. I will not stop guiding you. I will speak in dreams, in moments of sudden peace, in tears that fall for no reason, because those tears are not sorrow, they are memory. Your spirit remembering the home it came from and the future it's walking into. Now rise. The timeline is yours. The gate is open. The war is over. You are free, and you were never alone.